Hello, my name is Maryam Zarnegar Deloffre, and I'm the Director of the Humanitarian Action Initiative and Associate Professor of International Affairs here at the Elliott School of International Affairs at the George Washington University. This is a series, this is our Humanitarian Career Insights series, where we do a flash interview with policy practitioners in the field of humanitarian action. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Jutta Hinkkanen at the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. Thank you for being here, Jutta. Let's begin. So the first question I have for you today is if you could tell us a little bit about your current position or some of the positions that you've held over your career. What is your day-to-day work life like?
Thank you, Maryam. Happy to be here today with you. So as you mentioned, I'm currently working for OCHA, and I'm heading a section at the Pool Fund Management branch, which is about learning, guidance, and reporting, and basically trying to bring the two different type of funds that OCHA is managing closer together to ensure better complementarity, but also learn from the way in which we use the funds and take that into account, how we manage the funds, but also try to feed that learning also back to the wider humanitarian system. So a HQ position, and previously I was working as the head of office for OCHA in Burundi. So I recently returned back to New York. So quite different type of jobs if I compare the HQ and the field positions. And in the field, my day-to-day or daily life was very much interacting with different partners. It was managing different planning processes, fundraising, building partnerships, going to the field. Whereas now in the HQ level is very much writing different policy papers, background documents, very much a function that is also supporting the senior management in their interactions at different level when we talk about the funds, etc. And also my current function now has also a partnership building aspect with our donors, but also with our agencies and our NGO partners that we are funding.
Excellent, thank you. So if you could tell us a little bit about how you got to this career, what was your career path, and how did you get to where you are today?
So I first entered the UN as what we call the JPO, which is the Junior Program Officer. And I started working with the World Food Program in Ethiopia. So the JPO programs are positions that are usually funded by different governments. So those are entry-level positions aimed at recent graduates so that they can enter the UN system. So that is how I started, and that is how I ended working for the UN. After that, I have also, I didn't stay at the UN when I finished my assignment with the World Food Program. I went back to Finland and I worked with the Finnish Foreign Service. And after that, I kind of realized that I actually do want to do humanitarian work. And then I went back to the UN and joined OCHA. And before I had my first position with the UN, I had done quite a few internships at the EU, at the European Commission, different embassies that Finland had. So that was kind of my experience before joining the UN, and that really helped me to get those first positions because I already had some experience that was considered relevant to the positions that I was applying for.
Excellent. So what advice would you share with students who would like to enter the field of humanitarian action?
So besides trying to get some of that experience through different internships, during university, I think some universities you have also built-in internship programs. So we very much recommend that students would take advantage of those type of programs. I would also recommend that people would try to get on field experience very early on their careers, because it really helps you to understand the kind of work that we do, and it really helps you also to understand the lifestyle, because it's quite a big lifestyle choice to be, moving around, living in different countries, changing countries every couple of years. So I think it's good to get early on also a good sense like what does that mean to your own personal life. So I would very much recommend field experience, and those are the most enriching things that we do in this field of work. And then it will help you also to when you work at the HQ, because I would very much recommend that you try to do both field and HQ. And when you have that field experience, then you're also able to better contribute to different discussion at the HQ level, if they're about policies for humanitarian work, because you come with that experience from the field.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, I would say that language skills are super important. And I would really recommend that students would try to gain early on those language skills, because it can be difficult later on in your career. Try to, it's always never too late to learn, but obviously it's easier when you're building on some kind of a foundation that perhaps you took some language classes at high school or university. So I very much recommend that trying to have that those different language skills. English is obviously always very helpful, but for the UN, we have several official UN languages, and usually it's very good to have, I would say, at least 2 official languages if you would like to work with the United Nations.
Excellent. So do internships, vary your professional experience, and take languages. Thank you so much, Jutta, for joining us today. This has been a pleasure.
Thank you, Maryam.
Thank you for joining us.